Hello and welcome. In this video segment I will create the geometry for lesson 1. On the screen is the completed geometry for lesson 1. In a moment I'll start a new file and create the geometry from scratch. Just a reminder, x0, y0 is the lower left corner. Let's get started and create a new file. I'm going to move up to the top left hand corner of the screen and click on the icon for New Part. First thing I'd like to do is load the toolbars for a 2D part. I'm going to move into Settings and then slide on down and click on Toolbar States. On the left side I'm going to click on 2D Toolbars and then I'm going to click the Load button. So we're all done here. I'm going to move on down to the bottom of the screen and hit the green check mark for OK. Next we're going to set up the grid. So once again we're going to go back into Settings and I'm going to pick the first on the list, Configuration. On the left side of the screen I'm going to click the plus sign next to Screen and then click on Grid Settings. Moving over to the right, the first thing I'm going to do is put a check mark against Visible Grid and then just slide down to the right. I'm going to input the size as 1.0. We're done here, so I'm going to pick OK, and then I'm prompted Save Settings. I'm going to click on Yes. Now this particular lesson just deals with geometry. If I click Alt-O on the keyboard, now you can see the Toolpath Manager. I'm going to click Alt-O again. We don't necessarily need that open. Let's continue now and let's start to create the geometry. So let's move up to the top of the screen. I'm going to click on Create Line and then Create Line Endpoint. Now there's the prompt, specify the first endpoint. If I click on it I can move it around. I'm just picking with my left button. If you want to change the size of the font, just right mouse click. You can change it to small. I'm going to right mouse click again and change it to large. So let's satisfy this first prompt, specify the first endpoint. What I'm going to do is, over on the left hand side of the screen, I'm going to click in the white space for the X value. I'm going to input 0 on my keyboard and then hit the tab. We're transported over to the Y value. For the Y, I'm going to input 0 and hit the tab one more time. Here we are in the Z value, nothing to change here, so I'm going to hit tab one more time. Now the prompt on the screen has changed to specify the second endpoint. So again I'm going to click in the X value, input 0, I'm going to tab over. Now this time for the Y I'm going to input 5.0, hit the tab one more time, nothing to change in the Z, so I'm going to hit the tab one more time. Now the line has gone flying off the screen, so let's move up and click on Screen Fit. Next I'm going to slide on over and click on Unzoom 0.8. What I'm doing now is hitting the right arrow key on my keyboard just to move this line over to the left so we can get the complete geometry on this screen. Now a prompt, specify the first endpoint. What I'm going to do now is move the cursor over to the end point of the line, and as you can see there's a visual cue. This visual cue indicates that I'm going to snap to the end point of this line, so I'm going to pick this point. The prompt changes, specify the second endpoint. What I'm going to do now is click up in the white space for X and input 1.5, hit the tab key, and here we are in the Y, and for the Y 5.0, hit the tab key one more time, nothing to change in the Z. I'm going to hit the tab key and there's line number 2. So let's move on to line 3. Again specify the first endpoint. I'm going to move over to the endpoint and click on that point. Next I'm going to click in the white space for X and input 3.0. I'm going to hit the tab key. Here we are in the Y. Now for the Y 3.0, hit the tab. Here we are back in the Z. Nothing to change here. I'm going to hit the tab key and there's our third line. As we did before, specify the first endpoint. I'm going to click on the endpoint of that line. Again, click in the white space for X. For the X value, 3.0, hit the Tab key. Now for the Y, 2.5, hit the Tab key. Nothing to change in the Z, so I'm going to hit the Tab key again. On to line 5. I'm going to pick this endpoint. Got it. Click in the white space for X and the value 5.0. Hit the Tab key, and for the Y 2.5, hit the Tab key. Here we are in the Z. Hit the Tab key one more time. On to line 6. As we've done before, I'm going to move on to the end of this line and click on it. Click in the white space. Now I'm going to input 5.0, hit the Tab key. For the Y, 3.0, hit the Tab key. Here we are in the Z, nothing to change here. Going to hit the Tab key one more time. There's our line. On to line 7. Specify the first endpoint. Here we go. We're going to pick this point here. Got it. Let's click in the white space for X and input 6.5. Hit the Tab key. Here we are in the Y. 5.0 for the Y. Hit the Tab key. Nothing to change in the Z. I'm going to hit the Tab key, and there's our line. Okay, on to line 8. Specify the first endpoint. I'm going to click on this point. Got it. Click in the white space for X, and we're going to input 8.0 for the X. Going to tab over for the Y. 5.0. I've tabbed over. Here we are in the Z. Nothing to change here. Going to hit the tab one more time, and there's our line. On to line 9. Going to pick this point. Got it. Back up into the X value. Going to click in that white space. 8.0 is our X value. Tab over. Here we are in the Y. So for the Y value, this time it's 0. Going to tab one more time. Nothing to change in the Z. Going to hit the tab one more time, and there's our line. Wonderful. Last line, line 10. So, going to click on this point, click in the X value. So, our final resting place is 0 in X. Hit the Tab key. It's 0 in Y. Hit the Tab key one more time. Z0 here, and hit the Tab key. Everything looks great. I'm going to move up to the ribbon bar and click on the Apply button. Everything looks fantastic. Let's click on OK. We're done here. I'm going to move up to the top and click on the Screen Fit icon, and there's our geometry, a thing of beauty. One last thing to do. Let's save this file. File, Save As, and now I'm going to type in Mill Lesson 1 and click on the green check mark for OK. That completes this video. Thanks for watching.